Fast love after breakups, intense or dangerous. Breakups are painful. Sometimes they feel like your whole world has collapsed. In that emotional storm, it's easy to crave relief, comfort, and validation. That's why many people find themselves jumping into a brand new relationship almost immediately. On the surface, this fast love can feel exhilarating. One moment you're heartbroken, and the next you're swept into a passionate romance that seems to heal the pain instantly. Friends might warn, it's just a rebound, be careful, but the intensity can be so strong that it feels like the answer you've been waiting for. But here's the real question. Is this fast love truly helping you heal, or is it just masking deeper wounds? Is it an exciting new beginning, or a dangerous distraction that could lead to more heartbreak? In this video, we're going to unpack the psychology of rebound relationships. You'll learn why people rush into love after a breakup, the hidden risks, the potential benefits, and how to handle these situations, whether you're the one rebounding or the one left behind. By the end, you'll have a clear, research-backed understanding of whether fast love after a breakup is intense in a healthy way, or dangerous for your emotional well-being. A rebound relationship is one that begins very soon after a breakup, often before the person has had time to fully process the end of their previous relationship. It's less about finding the perfect match and more about filling the emotional void left behind. Think of it as an emotional band-aid. It soothes the sting of heartbreak, provides companionship, and distracts from feelings of loss. The key sign of a rebound isn't necessarily how much time has passed, but the state of mind of the person entering it. Therapists point out that when someone is still dealing with unresolved emotions from their ex and they jump into a new relationship mainly to cope, it's a rebound. These relationships usually start quickly, with strong emotions and rapid involvement, sometimes within days or weeks. But because the foundation is reactionary, they're often brief and emotionally confusing. In short, a rebound is usually less about building something new and more about patching up the pain of what just ended. So why do people rush into a new relationship right after a breakup? Psychology gives us some clear reasons, and most of them boil down to coping with pain and insecurity. First, escaping loneliness and pain. After a breakup, the sudden emptiness can feel unbearable. Starting something new helps avoid the silence, the grief, and the long nights of being alone. A new partner acts like an instant comfort blanket. Second, boosting self-esteem and seeking validation. Breakups often leave people doubting their worth. Jumping into love can restore confidence. If someone new desires me, then I must still be lovable. In fact, studies show that people who date quickly after a breakup report higher self-esteem and feel more attractive than those who stay single and dwell in sadness. Third, proving it's over. Sometimes a rebound is about sending a message, to yourself or to your ex. Starting a new romance can be a way of saying, "See, I've moved on." In some cases, it's even used to spark jealousy or get revenge, especially when pride is wounded. Fourth, coping and distraction. A rebound often works like an escape hatch from grief. Instead of facing sadness, anger, or loneliness, the excitement of a new romance becomes a distraction. But while it soothes in the short term, it can also push real healing further down the road. Fifth, attachment styles and fear of being alone. People with anxious attachment, those who fear abandonment, often struggle the most with breakups. For them, quickly finding someone new feels like survival. On the other hand, avoidant types who tend to suppress emotions may also rebound, but more to maintain their sense of independence and keep painful feelings buried. Lastly, gender and personality differences. Research shows that men are more likely than women to rebound. One reason is that men often rely heavily on their partner for emotional support, while women usually have broader support systems like friends or family. So when a relationship ends, men may rush into another to fill that gap. Personality traits also play a role. Narcissistic or insecure individuals might seek rebounds as ego boosts or quick validation. In short, fast love after a breakup is rarely random. It's driven by psychology, emotional needs, and sometimes the fear of sitting alone with heartbreak. Rebound relationships often start with a rush, fast attraction, instant chemistry, and a whirlwind of emotions. For someone fresh out of heartbreak, that intensity can feel like being brought back to life. Instant emotional relief. Instead of crying over an ex, suddenly you're getting late-night messages from someone new who finds you amazing. That shift can dramatically improve mood and outlook. Studies show that people who began dating quickly after a breakup reported faster recovery, higher confidence, and stronger self-esteem. Feeling desired again, Breakups often leave a person feeling unwanted or rejected. A rebound flips that script quickly, replacing the sting of rejection with affection, attention, and intimacy. That validation reminds you that you're still attractive and capable of connection. Moving on, at least on the surface, being with someone new naturally takes up emotional space. When you're busy discovering a new partner, you simply have less time to obsess over your ex. Research even shows that people in rebounds are less likely to say they still have strong feelings for their old partner. Busting the only one myth, rebounds can challenge the painful idea that your ex was your only chance at love. Psychologists note that a new partner helps prove you can bond with someone else, which can be deeply healing after a breakup. Sometimes they last. While many rebounds are short-lived, not all end quickly. Some blossom into long-term relationships. Research has found no evidence that starting a relationship quickly dooms it to fail. In fact, some rebound couples have built lasting, happy partnerships once the initial healing phase passed. Real-life stories even show that when both partners are honest about their past wounds, the rebound can evolve into a supportive, committed love. So yes, rebounds can feel like an emotional adrenaline shot. They offer passion, comfort, and hope at a time when you feel broken. But just as there's a bright side, there's also a shadow side, and that's where the dangers begin. While fast love after a breakup can feel thrilling, it also comes with serious risks. Many rebounds don't heal the wound. They just cover it temporarily. When someone skips the grieving process, they often avoid dealing with sadness, anger, or lessons from the past relationship. Without that reflection, the same emotional patterns, like jealousy, poor communication, or insecurity, can resurface in the new relationship. It's kind of like slapping a band-aid on a deep cut that actually needs stitches. Most rebounds begin from a need for comfort, not compatibility. That makes them fragile. They often last just a few months before fizzling out because once the initial passion fades, deeper incompatibilities become clear. If the rebound was only about distraction, there's little substance to sustain it. The rebounder might just be looking for comfort, while the new partner could be falling in love. This mismatch can cause hurt, rejection, and confusion. Psychologists say it often feels like there's a third person in the room, the ghost of the ex haunting the new relationship. If the rebounder knows they're only in it for distraction, but still keeps the other person around, it veers into unfairness. Treating someone as a temporary emotional bandage can leave them deeply hurt when the truth comes out. Jumping into another relationship too quickly can also prevent people from reflecting on what went wrong in the last one. Instead of learning and growing, they risk repeating the same mistakes in a new relationship. The intense chemistry of a rebound can create a false sense of this is real love, but if it ends, the original heartbreak can come flooding back, compounded by the pain of a second breakup. For some, that crash hurts even more than the original split. In short, fast love can feel like a strong shelter from heartbreak, but if it's built on unresolved pain, it's like a house made of sand. The tide will eventually test it. Not sure if your new romance is genuine or just a rebound? Here are some red flags psychologists point out. First, if the relationship started very quickly, like just days or weeks after a breakup, chances are high it's a rebound. The speed itself is a warning sign that healing time may have been skipped. Second, constant comparisons to the ex. If you catch yourself or your partner always comparing traits with the ex, that's a clue the past isn't fully behind you. Even positive comparisons, like saying, "You're so much nicer than my ex," show that the old relationship still lingers in the background. Third, hurried progression. Rebounds often move at lightning speed, saying "I love you" too early, talking about moving in together, or rushing commitments that usually take more time. This fast tracking is often an attempt to recreate the intimacy that was lost. Fourth, avoiding deeper conversations. If the focus is only on fun, passion, or distraction, but deeper talks about emotions, the breakup, or the future are avoided, it can signal that one or both partners aren't ready to process the pain honestly. Fifth, unrealistic expectations. Relying on the new partner to fix you, or expecting them to erase all your wounds, is a classic rebound mindset. This often leads to disappointment when reality sets in. Sixth, no time for personal growth. If you jump straight from one relationship to the next without taking any time to reflect, heal, or grow individually, it's another strong indicator of a rebound. Seventh, friends and family are concerned. Often outsiders can see what you can't. If your loved ones are repeatedly questioning whether you're ready, it's worth paying attention. Recognizing these signs doesn't mean the relationship has to end, but it does mean you should pause and reflect. Ask yourself honestly, Am I with this person because I truly want to know them, or because I'm still running from my ex? One of the hardest things after a breakup is seeing your ex in a brand new relationship almost immediately. It can feel like betrayal, like what you shared meant nothing. But here's what psychology says about coping with this painful situation. It's usually not about you. Your ex's rebound doesn't mean you weren't good enough. Often it's about their inability to handle loneliness, their need for validation, or their fear of facing pain. Their choice reflects their coping style, not your value. Appearances can be misleading. Social media may make their new relationship look perfect, but remember, rebounds often start with intensity and idealization. What you're seeing is the highlight reel, not the full story. Early passion doesn't guarantee long-term happiness. No contact is your friend. If your ex is flaunting their rebound, resist the urge to react or check in. The no-contact rule helps protect your heart and gives you the space to heal without constant reminders of their new fling. Stop comparing yourself. It's tempting to compare yourself with their new partner, but rebounds are often chosen because they're different, not necessarily better. Remind yourself that this isn't a reflection of your worth. Validate your feelings. Feeling hurt, angry, or rejected is normal. Don't shame yourself for it. Acknowledge the emotions, talk them out with friends or a therapist, and let yourself grieve. Focus on your growth. Instead of obsessing over their rebound, pour your energy into yourself. Reconnect with friends, pick up hobbies, exercise, travel, anything that builds your strength and confidence. Your ex may be avoiding growth by rebounding, but you can choose to heal fully. Don't wait for their rebound to end. Yes, many rebounds fizzle out, but some last. Obsessing over when it will end only keeps you emotionally tied to your ex. Your timeline is yours. Focus on moving forward, regardless of what happens with them. In short, your ex's fast move says more about their wounds than it does about you. The healthiest response is to protect your peace, focus inward, and allow time to make you stronger. Being in a rebound doesn't automatically mean disaster. With honesty and self-awareness, it's possible to handle it in a way that supports both partners. Be honest with yourself and your partner. Acknowledge the reality. You're fresh out of a breakup, and some wounds are still there. Share that openly. Transparency sets realistic expectations and prevents misunderstandings. Slow down the pace. The chemistry may feel electric, but don't rush into big commitments. Avoid dropping "I love you" too soon, moving in together quickly, or treating the relationship like a redo of your last one. Give it space to grow naturally. Don't use them as an ex replacement. Your new partner isn't your ex, and shouldn't have to carry that shadow. Avoid constant comparisons or idealizing them as the opposite of your ex. Let this relationship develop its own identity. Communicate clearly. Talk about what each of you wants. Is it something casual, or are you both seeking something serious? Mismatched expectations are one of the biggest risks in rebounds, so clarity is essential. Keep working on your own healing. Even while dating, continue to process your breakup. Spend time alone, focus on hobbies, and invest in personal growth. If needed, seek therapy to make sure you're not burying pain under romance. Check in with yourself regularly. Ask yourself tough questions. Am I here because I truly like this person, or because I'm avoiding loneliness? If the answer leans toward escape, it's a sign to rebalance. Respect your partner's feelings. Remember, they're not just a comfort tool. They're a human being with emotions. Be fair. Don't lead them on if you're unsure, and don't project your past wounds onto them. Be ready for any outcome. Some rebounds will fade once the healing is complete. If that happens, end things kindly and respectfully. But sometimes rebounds grow into real, committed love. If both people communicate, support each other, and move past the reaction phase, the relationship can become genuine and long-term. Handled thoughtfully, a rebound doesn't have to be destructive. It can be a stepping stone to either healing or, in some cases, lasting love. So, is fast love after a breakup intense or dangerous? The truth is, it can be both. On the one hand, rebound relationships can bring powerful benefits. They offer instant comfort, boost self-esteem, and remind you that love and connection are still possible. For some, they even grow into lasting partnerships. That intensity can feel like a spark of hope at one of the darkest times. But on the other hand, rushing into love too soon carries real risks. If it's used as a way to avoid grief or to mask unresolved pain, it can delay healing, create shallow connections, and hurt both you and your partner in the process. Sometimes it even leads to a harder crash than the original breakup. The balanced truth is this: rebound relationships aren't automatically doomed, but they require self-awareness, honesty, and careful pacing. If you enter fast love with open eyes, acknowledging your wounds, communicating clearly, and respecting both yourself and your partner, It can be a healthy part of your healing journey. Ultimately, whether it turns out intense in a good way or dangerous in a damaging way depends on how you handle it. So if you find yourself or your ex in a rebound, remember, don't just ask, is this love? Ask, is this healing me or hiding my pain? That answer will tell you everything. Let's keep this conversation going. Like this video, drop a comment below, and don't forget to subscribe.